I'm going to start this call off with a joke before I dive into separation anxiety. So, my uncle gave me this cool calendar. I am behind on the days, but that's okay. So, it says new tricks, and then there's a download button. So, nowadays, right? Just pop online and you can train your dog to do almost anything, right? Well, that's why I'm here today, guys. I want to help you with separation anxiety. So, first of all, let's talk a little bit about what the heck is separation anxiety, because not everyone fully understands what it is. So, first of all, it's when your dog feels anxious when you're gone and generally is not bored. So I know a lot of dogs where, the owner will leave and they're just bored and then they just go and destroy the apartment or the house. That's not separation anxiety. That's a dog saying, I just need something to do. So when your dog has separation anxiety, they will destroy things. They will generally, well, not all the time, but they could be likely to destroy things by the doors and the windows, like where they're trying to get out. They also could have poop and pee accidents in the house while you're gone, when you know for sure your dog can actually hold it. They could also bark, whine, pace. Severe cases, the dogs may actually, bite themselves or pull their hair out. So it is important that we get these dogs help, right? Because they're under an immense amount of stress. And if you are unclear on, if your dog is feeling separation anxiety or if they're just bored, then you could just try giving them something to do. If giving them something to do kind of resolves the problem, then it really may just be that simple. Of course, you can always ask me questions. Please do post in the comments below, because it's not always, black and white. There's always, some gray area in there. But when you want to give your dog something to do, you want to think, if it's boredom, then it would be like a Kong or a bully stick, or nourishment toys is even more ideal, like a Buster Cube with something for them to do, or a Kong wobbler. Things that are going to take mental stimulation for them to figure out and channel that energy. I see we have a viewer here. If you want to comment below so we can have a conversation, please do. So, when we have a dog that has separation anxiety, we want to get them more in like a meditative state. So what a lot of people don't realize is basically their dog is having a panic attack. It means they're going, ah, inside. They're literally that stressed out. So anytime you're using aversive-based methods like shock collars or anything that's going to cause pain to the dog, you're actually increasing their anxiety level, and then you could increase the amount of destruction that they do. So you really want to make sure you're coming from it from a positive perspective, because what we actually want to do is, when our dog's energy is way up here, we want to bring it back down. How are we going to bring it back down? Well, it's a complex process, so I'm just going to go over the basics today, but simply said, we want to help your dog learn how to meditate. So we want to help them decrease their heart rate. We want to help them relax. We want to help them be able to go find a place and lie down and rest. If you think that's impossible, it's not. I've worked with many clients where their dogs were extremely stressed out to the point where, they're worried about getting evicted because their dog is so stressed. And then, we do quite a lot of sessions together and their dog just lies down and goes to sleep when they leave. So it does take time. So the number one thing, the basics about separation anxiety that they want to keep in mind is you got to be committed to take the time to do the training if you're wanting to go the training route. It's not going to happen overnight. You want to make sure that you think of just kind of gradual progression over a period of time, and you're gradually decreasing their anxiety as much as you can. Now, if your dog is on the severe end where, they're peeing, they're pooping, they're whining, they're destroying things, they might even be biting themselves or licking themselves excessively, then you're going to want to make sure that when you have to leave, that you leave them in an environment where they feel comfortable. So that could be with another person or a daycare or a friend, because if they're not, then when you leave, then they're stressed out. And then when you go to try to practice, as a setup, as a training setup, they already have all the stress that they've already built up from the time that you left. So it's really important if your dog's on that severe end that you make sure that you have somebody else that's watching them, so that when you start doing the training moments where you're leaving, the dog can not feel like that they had all this added stress previously. They can be like, okay, mom left and everything was cool. I played with Marley or whatever, and I felt great. So then what you want to start doing is you want to start like setting up these training moments where you get your dog to start building their confidence that they can be safe. So one thing that's really important to do is again, to work on decreasing that stress level. So anything that you can think of that your dog likes to decrease the stress level will help immensely. So that could be having something that smells like you and giving that to them. It could be clothing or bedding, having a bed there if they like to lie down, not putting them in their crate. There are always exceptions to that, but most dogs, when they're in their crates, their anxiety will increase. So having them outside of their crate is a better idea. Hi, I see we have a few viewers. Please comment below if you want to interact with me. I would love to have a conversation with you. So you want to make sure that there's an area that they feel comfortable in, so you're going to set that up. That could be just free range in the house for a dog that, is more on the minor end, just barking a little bit and not probably destroying a whole bunch. And most dogs are going to feel better if they can see, you leave out the window if you're just going to do like the free range. If your dog's on the more severe end, then you might want to develop a confinement area. So you basically, what you do is you can use an X-Pen or a baby gate, and you gate off a room that you're setting up and being like, this is your relaxation point. Okay, so you're literally setting it up for them to have success there. And you're not gating them off in that room at all, except when you're doing the training time. So again, when you're actually physically leaving, if your dog's on the more severe end, then you want to have them be in a situation where they're not stressed out with someone else at a doggy daycare or a friend, etc. If they're on the more minor end, then you may be able to try this from the get-go. So you have the confinement area or free range of the house, and then you set up the ambience so it's more relaxing. So like that calming bed, something that maybe smells like you. Also turning on classical music can really help. Meditative music is really good as well. You can get some great downloads by an artist called Joshua Leeds. iCalm is a website where you can get free downloads on, and then it used to be through the dog's ear. So you could also go on Spotify or YouTube and Google those things and find some wonderful things to help your dog be relaxed. Now, fact of the matter is you want to play them randomly throughout the day so that this doesn't predict that you're leaving, okay? So you want to make sure that you're not just playing them when you're doing a training session when you're leaving. So you do want to make sure that you're setting up setup. So you've heard me say this numerous times in this live show. You're like, what the heck is a training setup? Well, that's when you're actually practicing like you're leaving, but you're really not gonna go to the grocery store or do much of any leaving. So you put on that relaxing classical music, you have your bed, you have something that smells like you, anything else that you think that's going to relax your dog. Doing T-touch before you go can be really helpful. I'll do a demonstration on that. And if anybody wants the link to a video on T-touch, just post in the comments below or ask me any questions. I can send you that link. So you ground your thumb, and then you're going to go with your dogs here down the body, nice and relaxed. And you're going to do it very slow at a light amount of pressure, so not super high. So I'm literally doing about a circle and 3/4, okay? So really small, slow circle of a super, super light pressure. And you could do that for anywhere from, a minute to 20 minutes, depending on what your dog wants. As long as they're hanging by you, you're good to go to do that. So then you set all that up, and then you kind of do like a pretend I'm leaving scenario. So if your dog's more on the severe end, then you would just walk out of the confinement area for 1 to 2 seconds and then immediately return. Oh, and before you do that, you could also give your dog something to do, like a Kong or a bully stick. Generally something to chew on if they're on the more severe end, because the chewing can get them to relax a little bit. If they're more on the minor end, you actually may be able to physically open the front door and leave the house for 1 to 2 seconds and then walk back in. So that's where we're going to stop today. We're going to, I'm going to do numerous videos on the separation anxiety. I'm not sure of the exact timing on when I'm going to post them. I'm going to do it in between clients and when I have time. But it is going to be a series, so we'll build onto that. So I do invite you guys to post comments below and ask me questions, because then when I do more lives, then I can know, oh gosh, this is a good thing to include in here, because there's a lot of questions about it. And then if you guys want any help from me personally, I do live online dog training through Zoom. When we're doing separation anxiety, that's the way to go, because you do not need me as an added variable into that house. As soon as I walk into that house, I'm changing the whole energy of the situation. And then when we start having you leave, then your dog's already excited that I'm there. Very hard to get in a meditative state. So if you're interested in that, you can post in the comments below. We can get something set up. Otherwise, ask me questions, watch the Facebook Lives, or get this book, Treating Separation Anxiety in Dogs, by Melina, I think it's called Melina, I think is how you pronounce it, Melina D. Martini Price. She's amazing. It's a great book for you to read. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in a future Facebook Lives on separation anxiety. And please interact with me. I want you guys talking. I want to help you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.